Alright, I just watched the 3 videos that I made about this camper, and I realized that there's information on the first video that I forgot to mention in the second, and vice versa. There's 2 videos of the outside, and then there's a video of the inside where I talk about the camper and all that. So I'm just going to edit them all into one long video right after this one that you're watching right now, so that you can get all the information in one stretch. They're not long, 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 4 minutes. It'll be a quick watch, but it will let you know what you need to know about this camper and show you the exterior and the interior. I think one thing I forgot to mention in the videos was the length. It's a 36-foot long camper. So it's a big Class A, but it's not a 40, or a 42 coach bus. It's surprisingly easy to drive around. I love driving this thing. It's got a great view. The seating is super comfortable. It goes down the road nice. It's a good rig. Just my wife and I are swapping down to a smaller travel trailer. We got a couples coach there that we're going to use instead. And so it's time for the big Newmar to find a new home. So if you have any questions, by all means, reach out to me. I'm happy to answer anything, go over anything that we did, explain anything on the camper, and then set up an appointment to come see it, and we'll go from there. Thanks so much. Okay, here's the first of a couple of exterior walk-around videos on our 1996 Newmar MountainAire. We bought this camper maybe 4.5, 5 years ago from the original family. It was not something that was sitting abandoned in a field or anything like that. It was still being used at the time we bought it. However, it was in original condition, let's just say. So the inside was very dated. We've of course gutted it, redone the whole inside. It's beautiful inside now. And on the exterior, I removed much of the striping that was peeling and old. Repainted the bottom half of the camper here, well, not half, but the bottom stripe, and then all these stripes here, I painted those as well, just to make it look a little bit nicer. The awnings are all in okay shape. The big awning here does work. However, when I just went to put it down, the little loop on the strap broke off, so it's going to need to be flipped up and sewn again to get a loop to grab onto. But the awning is there, and it's not full of holes or anything like that. When we bought this camper, the prior owners had just replaced all 8 tires, and they had just replaced the roof. So the whole roof membrane is new as well. And then we've gone around with Eternabond and sealed all the seams, all around the vents, all around the skylights. Like, we've sealed everything so that it has no leaks. It did have a couple of leaks in the past that were repaired. But I just want to emphasize that there's no leaks on it at all. There is one little spot of damage on it right here. That was me. I backed into something, so there's a little damage right there, but it certainly doesn't affect anything. All the lighting works and all that. Let's see. On the stripes, I carried the slide out, striping over just to give it a little bit more modern look. I left the hood open so you can hear it running. It's a nice, quiet Ford 460. It has the Banks power system on it, so it's got the K&N air filter, it's got headers and all that. So it's got plenty of power. I shut the front here. I replaced the headlights. I went through the rig inside and out and replaced all of the lights. Everything works. These side lights work on both sides and illuminate, the side of the camp area. One of these upper lights was broken. Those are still available, so I replaced that for the campsite lighting. And then there's another one on the other side. All of the porch light works. All the marker lights all the way around work. Like up here, all those marker lights work. There's a backup camera behind that panel that points right down behind it, so you can see when you get up close to something. The air ride works. This has got a tag axle, and there's a compressor on board so that when you're driving and you turn it on, it pumps up the camper and levels it up like this, and it puts pressure down on that back axle. That's actually the drive wheels. Those are dualies. This drive axle, and then the tag axle, when it's pumped up, puts pressure down, and it kind of makes a triangle of tire contact on both sides, which makes it much more stable to drive a long vehicle like this. The thing's actually a ball to drive. It's a behemoth, but it's really, really fun. The glass all around gives you a really great view while you're driving down the road. And it's been dead reliable. I mean, we've done repairs to it, obviously. I've done rear complete brakes with pads, rotors, wheel bearings, brake lines. All that was done. The front brakes were done right before we bought it. Front shocks are done. It doesn't really need anything to drive it right now. We're just downsizing a bit. You know, our kids don't go camping with us much anymore. So we just switched to a smaller couples travel trailer. But in all honesty, like I would get in this tomorrow and drive it to Florida. It does great. It's got plenty of power. It's got a really good cooling system on it, so that on a hot day when you're going up long grades and the temperature gauge starts to climb, it's got an auxiliary fan setup on it that boosts on, and then you watch the temperature come right back down. It's really not an issue or a chore to drive this thing. You can see the overhead awning above the slide is a little torn on this side. I don't know what to tell you about that. It's old, but at least most of it is still there and protects the top of the slide from leaves and whatnot. And I guess that's it. I'll make another video with more info as I think of it. All right, just an exterior video of our 1996 Newmar MountainAire. It's got just over 88,000 miles on it. It's a fuel-injected Ford 460. It runs beautifully. Really good drivetrain. Transmission's good. Cooling system's good. Brakes are great. We've done a lot of repairs and maintenance to make sure this thing stays reliable. On the exterior, when we bought it 4.5 years ago, it was aged. It was faded. A lot of the stripes were peeling and whatnot, so I got rid of a lot of the stripes, and then I painted these stripes on, try to give it a little bit more of a modern look. And the bottom, instead of the light tan, I painted that dark gray, and I replaced the headlights. All the exterior lighting works. I rebuilt these side lights that light up next to the camper on both sides. The porch light works, the campsite light works, so does the one on the other side. All the driving lights all around work. We wanted to make sure it was as good as it possibly could be. The main awning does work. It's not all torn up and all that. However, when I just went to put it down, the little loop on the strap broke off, so that's going to have to be folded up and sewn to get it to pull down. The rest of the awnings are in great shape as well. When we bought the camper, the previous owners had just replaced all 8 tires. They also had done the roof, so the whole roof membrane is new as well. And then I went around with a Turnabond and did every seam, every seal on top of the roof to ensure that there's no leaks on this thing. It did have a leak in the past, both in the back and the front, that was repaired. So there's a little bit of residual from that inside that I'll point out. Like I said, all these lights up here work. That center panel has got a backup camera behind it that goes straight down. You can see the other awnings on this side. Tons of storage underneath all the way around. It does not have a generator. We just used our own quiet generator. A real long vehicle like this, it's good to have a tag axle. This has got an onboard air compressor, and that axle right there is a wheel on each side. And while you're driving, it pumps up and puts pressure down, to keep the thing level and it also makes a triangle between that and the dually wheels on both sides, and that helps a lot with stability going down the road at 65 or 70 miles an hour. This thing has plenty of power. It drives fine. I'm just going to take a quick walk inside to point out where the previous water damage was. When you walk in here, you can see how, I mean, it's just a huge space. It's a great large vehicle. There was wetness in this corner, so this is now solid, but there's some wrinkles to the material right here. And there was a little bit of staining here and there, but that's really, you know, not bad at all considering the age of this thing. But there are certainly no leaks now. And then the other spot it got wet was in the rear roof. And so even though the roof's in good shape and all that, the speaker grills have stains all around them. This is all very, very old. I just never got around to like removing this and putting a different speaker grill on it to kind of hide that damage. It is what it is. The walls in here and everything, all this ceiling, everything is super solid. You know, all the lighting works and the whole thing. But I just want to be upfront and point it out. When we took out the blue carpeting that was in here, I also took out, there was a subfloor that was raised up a little bit so that the carpeting met the tile of the kitchen on an even plane, and the slide was actually raised a bit. So now everything is on one level. The slide now goes completely, you know, flat across, which is nice. You can hear it running right now. It's got great oil pressure, great temperature, runs nice and smooth. Those are all the states it's been to, because we bought it from the original family. So we've only been up in the New England area, but they've taken it to much of the country. Like I said, it's a big vehicle to drive down the road, and it feels fantastic to do it. I love driving this thing with the glass all wrapped around and all that. Windshield's in good shape. There's no cracks or anything. It's a reliable rig. I know it's a 96, but it's a Newmar. It's not, you know, a piece of junk Dolphin or something like that. It's built well, and it's on the Ford 53 chassis. It's a nice heavy-duty Ford chassis, easy to get parts for. You literally could back this thing out of my yard and drive it to Florida tomorrow. It's a good rig. So that's all I've got for now. All right, just a quick walk around in our 1996 Newmar MountainAire. It's a Ford fuel-injected 460 drivetrain. It's very easy to get parts for. It runs fantastically. Engine, transmission, cooling system, all that's in great shape. We've obviously renovated this thing extensively. We did leave the original blue carpet on the engine cover. Number one, because it's hard to replace and do anything with, but number two, to kind of remind us of where it came from. We refinished all the tables. This chair, to be honest, is in terrible shape. That's why it's got kind of a drape covering on it, but it is a seat-belted chair. We put a new sofa in, which also is bolted in, and seat belts are bolted to the factory location, so that's all safe and secure. The other table, we left freestanding so that it can be moved around. You can put it out in front of the couch. You can leave it here for 2 people. You can pull it out and put 4 people around it. The AC system in this camper was in terrible shape and didn't really work very well, so we put in a standalone AC. So that plugs in, vents right out this window here. So when it's all closed up, obviously it blocks the vent, so you do need to open this when you run the AC. The kitchen was completely redone. All the cabinets were repainted. It has tons of storage. It's got pantry with slide-out drawers. I rebuilt the whole kitchen countertop. I took out the laminate thing that was in there and got rid of the oven and all that. So there's storage behind the curtain. It includes the inductive cooktop, The microwave works fine. So all this storage up here, which you'll see in some of the pictures, it comes with a bunch of stuff like plates and whatnot. It has an extra faucet right here. That actually is a rechargeable faucet, and the hose goes down into this compartment. So you can put a 5-gallon water bottle under there, and then when you want water, you can just, get it from there, so that you have drinking water. We also replaced this faucet with a pull spray, but that is the original sink. Again, tons of storage. All these side cabinets have got plenty of storage. Everything was repainted in here. This was all oak wood before. The bathroom, we kind of did in a navy, refinished this in a marble look. The shower still has the original 1996 classic chrome brass. Wasn't much we could do with that, so we left it and kind of embraced the gold theme and did gold hardware in the other places. But there's plenty of room in this shower. Shower works fine. Toilet works fine. It's a flush one like you would expect. The bedroom we completely redid. Painted everything. Got rid of the mirrored mauve headboard. Refinished all of the lighting in the camper. Got rid of all the brass and took everything apart and painted it matte black. And everything works in here. Like all the lighting works. Even the emergency lighting on the floors. So when all the lights are off in the camper, you can see your way out here. It's got a 300 watts of solar up on the roof that comes down through this cabinet up here into the controller and into the battery compartment underneath the floor there. So that's very handy to keep everything topped off. But I'll go into some more details in the next video.